Our top Alabama election official believes Barry Moore would be a strong candidate for the U.S. Senate. Moore, now in Congress, may be pondering a run for Tommy Tuberville's seat on Capitol Hill. Former Alabama Secretary of State John Merrill says Moore is well thought of in Washington and Alabama. He points out the Republican lawmaker who lives in Enterprise defied the odds when he defeated a Mobile area congressman last year after redistricting set up that matchup. Merrill says he drummed up support in Alabama and got help from out of state to score the upset.
If he gets that level of commitment, will also turn into dollar bills, then it uniquely positions him to be very effective as a candidate.
As a country.
Moore has done nothing to squelch Senate talk. He promises a huge announcement on August 15th.